Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Monday, where every Monday I post a new video. In today's video I am going to be doing a baby gnome number 2. This time this gnome is going to be made out of a plastic 2-liter pop bottle, and this is what I had. Where's the other? This is it. It was like this, but I went ahead and cut it in half. So that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a scrap piece of cardboard, plastic bottle cut in half. You're going to need the top part only. I am going to be using baby ribbon. I'm going to be using white and pink felt. I got these little baby rattlers from Dollar Tree. Also got some little baby pacifiers. These were in the baby shower section. Also got a little pair of shoes. I got a styrofoam ball. You're going to need a medium size and a small. You're going to need something to cut the ball in half. I am going to be using faux fur white. I started off with white, and then I went ahead and colored it pink because I need both of them. I'm going to be using my knife to cut the styrofoam ball in half, and you're going to be needing some old clothes to make your baby wet. And that's optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. And you're going to be needing hot glue. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down so we can get into the video. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your plastic bottle and cut it in half. And like I said before, you just want the top part of the plastic bottle. And so I am going to go ahead and grab my hot glue, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our hot glue and we're just going to put some right around the rim of this. And then we're just going to hot glue it down to the cardboard. That way it'll have a base. And I'm just going to stick that on here just like that. And I'm just going to allow this to dry. And then I'm just going to go ahead, grab my glue stick. And we're just going to go ahead and go around the glue, around the bottle. That way we make sure everything is nice and secure. And you want this to be all the way dry before you move on to your next step. So now that we have this on, we're going to go ahead and let this dry for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So once you have it glued in place, this is what it should look like. I want the back flat. So now we're just going to go ahead and let this dry. So while we got this drying, I'm going to set that to the side, and we're going to go ahead and work on our doll shoes. So we're going to grab some of that cardboard. And we're going to go ahead and use this. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this. This is going to be the sole of our shoe. And then I'm just going to take this and glue this right down on top. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. So I'm just going around the shoe with the hot glue. And then we're just going to stick this down on here. And we're going to let it dry. And then we're just going to cut that out also. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. And this is just going to give us a little sole on the bottom of our shoe, so it's not just open. And you don't have to do this step. It's totally up to you. It's optional. I just think it makes it look a lot better. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to do the other one. Move that to the side. This is what we have here. This is what it looks like. So now I am going to take my pink felt, and I am just going to go ahead and go around my shoe. So I'm going to go ahead, put some hot glue around the shoe. Then we're going to take our felt and we're just going to start right at the bottom. And we're just going to go all the way around the shoe. Just like this. Now, I'm just going to grab a glue stick. Trying to get rid of these strings. And now I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the shoe. So we're just going to go take it around like this. Bring these two ends together. Going to go ahead, cut here. Like this. And now we have this little flap here that's open like this. We're going to go ahead and take these, glue these ends together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hold that there. Let that dry. Now I'm going to take some hot glue, stick it down off in the opening right here. And now I'm going to take my finger and you're just going to push in like this. So you should have an opening that looks like this. Like that. And now we're just going to go ahead and close everything together. Now, I'm just going to go ahead, squeeze a little bit of hot glue down off in here. I'm going to very carefully take my fingers and push the inside in. So this is what we should have. We're going to do that one more time. Going to go around the shoe. Click it. Stick it on here, go around the sides, making sure everything is nice and even. I'm going to go ahead, finish it off. Going to go around this way and here. Push these ends together. And then we're just going to go ahead, cut it out. Glue the ends together like this. Hold that till they dry. Squeeze hot glue down off in the middle. Push in, glue these ends together here, like that. Going to go ahead, put some hot glue down off in here. Once again, we're going to go ahead, tuck it. And this is what we have. We have our two little shoes right here. If my camera would just cooperate. Like this. There they go. So we have that here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our little baby gnome back now that it's dry. And I have some old clothes like I mentioned. And we just I'm just trying to see what one I want to use for the body and the pants. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use these for the shirt. So I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and just cut a little here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just slide this over the top. So we have our shirt pulled up over the head. So now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and tuck this around like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of hot glue in the back. So what I'm doing now is just using a little bit of the hot glue in the back just to make the shirt fit a little tight. Pull it up a little. So, and I'm just going to grab one more glue stick. And I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here. And we're just going to go ahead and stick this right up here just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the pink leg of a pair of shorts or pants. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right here. And I'm just going to go ahead, slide the shirt up, and we're just going to go ahead and slide this right on the bottom. And I'm just going to put this right over it, just like this. And I'm just going to take the end of the bottom and just cover the cardboard. And I don't have to glue it down because it already fits kind of snug. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue right around the bottle. And I'm just going to go ahead and tap this down. So I'm just going all the way around the bottle and just lightly touching this so I don't burn myself. Like that. And now I'm just going to pull the shirt down over the top. And this is what we have so far. So now that you got it pulled over, this is what it should look like. I'm going to set this to the side and bring the shoes back. Now I'm going to grab some white because I want to put a strip of white around the shoes. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut a strip of this white. And I'm making sure that I cut a long enough piece so I can go all the way around the shoe. And I'm just going to go ahead and do one more, just to be on the safe side. Just in case if one isn't long enough, I'll still have one more to go. So this is all I'm doing now is just cutting. Also, I am going to go ahead and take some of this white. I'm just going to cut another little strip out. And then I'm going to cover the bottom, the cardboard bottom part of the shoe. So set this to the side. So what I'm going to do is to see the red part of the shoe, that was the cardboard, I'm just going to go ahead and cover this with the white felt. That way the bottom of the shoes could be white. And it's not really noticeable that it was cardboard at one point or another. I'm going to go ahead, cut this in half. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out like this. And there's the bottom. Then I'm going to try to get a little bit, it's not so close to the edge with this one, so I won't be seeing any of the red. And I'll just go and add a little bit of white to this part, just to clean that edge up a little bit. So we got both of our shoes covered. Now we're going to take that white strip and go around our shoe. So just put a little bit on the end. And then we're just going to go ahead and go all the way around like this. Try not to burn your fingers like I just did. So all the way around. Cut off the extra. And this is what you end up with. Do the same thing to the other one. Just going to continue to go around the whole shoe. So now we have the white of our shoes covered. Let's just go ahead and glue these in place how we want them to look. So I'm just going to grab some hot glue, put a good amount right on the edge of the inside of the shoe, and then we're just going to go ahead, stick that like this. We're going to hold it here and let it dry. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just got to figure out about where you want how you want it to look. So I'm going to grab some hot glue, go around here like this. Going to go ahead, get that off. We're going to stick it right here, just like this. So it's like that. You can move them in closer if you like. I'll leave mine like this. And I'm just going to hold this here and let that dry. So this is what we have so far. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part. So you're going to grab that other part of the pants. You're going to grab your scissors because this is going to be the arms. So I'm going to go ahead, cut this about here. I'm going to cut this in half. Try to get it as even as possible. Going to go ahead, cut this up like this. So now you should have two. Going to turn it inside out like this. And then we're just going to go ahead and put a thin layer of hot glue as close to the edge as you can get. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue this back. And you're going to let this dry. Do the same thing to the other one. So we're just going to go ahead, turn it, put a thin layer of hot glue as close to the edge as you can get. We're going to go ahead, close it, put the ends together, and let that dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip these inside out. So now you should have two. Turn the right side in like this. And now what I'm going to do is take foil, and I'm just going to go ahead and rip this in half. And this is what I'm going to be using for my arms. So I'm just going to roll it up. Because if you don't have flexible curling rods, you can use aluminum foil because it's flexible too. It moves just as nicely, and you can bend and place the arms any way you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll this. So like this. Now I'm going to take my scissors, cut that, and then you just want to see how long you want the arms to be. But I'm just going to go ahead. What I do is I stick my arms in first. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue in here so my foil can stick. So I have that there. And I'm going to go ahead. Now that I have my arm where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and cut here and put a little bit of hot glue down in here to close it up. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it here. So put a little bit of hot glue on, and I'm just going to stick this just like this. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm just going to go ahead, stick this in, put a little hot glue down on the bottom to keep that in place. And I'm just going to use this piece here as a reference to know about how much to cut off. Move that. Go ahead, stick a little hot glue down off in here to close it up. And hopefully not to burn my fingers. And now we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to hold this here to see about how I like it. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in place. So I'm just putting some hot glue right on here. I'm going to go ahead, grab this, stick this here. And this is about where I want my arms, just like this. There we have that. This is what we have so far. Now, I am going to go ahead and put the nose on. So what I did for the nose was I took a styrofoam ball, just like this one. I grabbed my knife and I went ahead and cut that in half. And then I just kind of squished it in until I was happy with the size. And I have that here. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it on, but I'm going to grab some felt. So I have some flesh colored felt, and I'm just going to go ahead and just use this for on my gnome. So I'm going to put some hot glue around it. Be very careful that you don't get your fingers. And I'm just going to stick this right down on top. And I'm just going to go ahead and push this all the way around the sides. And then I'll cut off the extra. So now we're just going to continue to go around the sides. Just like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and hold this around and then just cut off any of the extra. So now let's cut. So now that you have it cut out, we're just going to go ahead and see where we want to stick it. And I'm going to stick mine there. So put some hot glue on it. And we're just going to go ahead and stick that right here. Now, I am going to go ahead and grab a pink pacifier. I want to see if this is going to be. Yep. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and take this, stick that in here just like that. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right down in the middle to secure it. I'm going to stick this right there just to hold it. And this is what we have. Now I am going to grab the other part of them pants that I was working with, and this is going to be her little hat. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out just like this. I'm going to put this right on top like this to go over her nose like that. So I want it to be like this. So I'm going to lay this down. Making sure that's over the nose. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue. So grab your hot glue gun. I'm going to stick that down right on top. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Just going to stick this down just like that. So now I'm just going to adjust this up over the nose. And I didn't give her a super big nose since she is just a baby. So this is what we have. And I am going to go ahead and twist this in the back. And now I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue. Put a little here, and here, here, and here. And I'm just going to gather all of this together like this. And now I'm just going to stick that in the back. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right down through here. I'm going to stick that there and hold it for a minute. And this is what we have. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a cut here. And I'm going to try to get even and put a little bit of a cut here. So we have two little cuts, and I'm going to set this to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our faux fur, and I got one here already that I made little ponytails. So I'm going to stick this one right here, just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of this off. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stretch this open. And then we're just going to stick this right on in. And this is going to be our little ponytail. So what I did for the ponytail that we have here, I just took my knife, because I still don't know where my X-Acto knife is, and I just cut a little strip of the pink. And like I mentioned earlier, this was white, and I just painted it pink using acrylic paint in water. So now I'm going to take a little piece of white, and I'm just going to cut this like that. Set that to the side. So what I did was I took my pink and my white, and I put them together, and all I did was gave it a quick twist like this. So you want to just wrap the two together, and then I used an elastic band to hold them together. And this is what you end up with. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. So I'm going to grab my hot glue, put a good amount of hot glue. Let's grab a glue stick. I'm going to use a little more hot glue. And then I'm just going to go ahead, open this a little. Pull this in, and we're just going to go ahead and stick this right here. And then I'm just going to hold this here until it dries. So once you get the hair glued in place, this is what she should look like. And now we're going to grab a little baby rattle. Turn her around, and we're just going to go ahead and stick this like this in her hand. So I'm going to lay her down on the side. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue in here, just like that, to close these up a little. And if you happen to have a bead or a button or something, you can go ahead and give her hands if you want to. I don't have one right now, but I may put one on her later. So once again, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in her hand. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right down on there, and I'm just going to stick this here just like this. Hold that there. Let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue right on top, and then we're just going to take her other hand and put it just like this. I'm just going to hold this here until it dries. And there we have it. And this is what it looks like. her. I may just try to fix the hair a little bit, but I think I like the way she came out. I think she turned out pretty cute. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of hot glue down through here just to keep the hair in place. So yeah, so I'm just gonna hold that there. There we go. That's better. And here she is. And here we go. So yeah, that is it for this video. I am going to go ahead and turn my camera back up so y'all can see me. So yeah, that's it for this video. Once again, here she is. She just don't want to hold on to that rattle. Stick it in her hand again. So there she go. If you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. And with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. That really means a lot, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.